Hi there, my name is Lydia Martinez with Elle Marketing, and I'm here today with my friend Kim from Primrose Productions, and she is the producer of the Salt Lake City Busker Fest, which just wrapped up at the end of last month. Congratulations, Kim, on another really successful year. I know what a big job that is, and it was delightful and magical this year for sure.
Yes, thanks for taking the time to sit down and talk with me. It was a really good year. Sometimes all the pieces come together and the feeling is in the air, as they say. There's a
Yeah,
reason they say that. So yeah, it was a great
really
year.
magical event. And so for those that don't know, like paint a picture of what a Busker Fest actually is. Because I didn't even know myself until you and I started working together on it.
Right. A busker is a street performer essentially, and there's so many different varieties of this that you see in iconic cities when you think about the subway platforms in New York and the rich musical history in New Orleans. And then some of the more odd acts like the snake charmers in Marrakesh. And there's really a long history from really the dawn of community. There's been street performance, and that's just a performer who's performing directly on the street or in public spaces for donations. There's really no staging or formalization. So it's a practice that both emerging artists take on, but also very seasoned artists. There's people that just really like to connect with the audiences on that very intimate level. So,
Well, you'll
yeah.
even see like very famous magicians and things like people like that, like going out and doing street shows because they enjoy that more intimate connection with an audience.
Yes, it's true. I've been trying to verify this rumored story that Taj Mahal, when he was finishing tours, would always have his crewmates drop him off 2 states away and busk his way back home just
Yeah.
to get away from the big stage and lights and back to his roots on the street. So urban
Wow.
legend, maybe. I like to think it's true.
I like that story. I'm going to keep telling that story in my head. Thank you. So talk a little bit about how like the kind of the forces that combined to bring a Busker Fest here to Salt Lake City.
Well, I mean, it was really the driving force for me started. I managed the downtown farmers market for 10 years in through 2016, I think was my last year. And we had a ton of musicians that would come and play that market. I mean, it was great. They still have musicians there, but it's been a little more organized. But it was just this like wild free for all, which was telling because it said that there's an appetite for this within the artists of our community, but there's not a place for it.
Yeah.
And the city hired me to create to review the ordinance and see what the barriers were. And I talked to a lot of potential artists at that time, and a lot of it was just really the lack of pedestrian density sometimes we have in our downtown corridors, and the feeling that it wasn't welcomed here. Like if they were to come down and just start playing their guitar, it would be
People
someone
would
would come yell at them, a business owner or a police, or they didn't feel welcome. Where at the market, they felt like it was a safe place for them.
mm,
So, from that recommendation report, one of the things we looked at was creating a festival that would both bring world-class talent into our city to inspire our artists here, but also to, bring awareness to the people who live here of what street performance is and how to approach it and engage with that as part of the fabric of the downtown corridor.
yeah, absolutely. And so we were fortunate enough to start working with you on Busker Fest. Kind of right from the beginning, we launched the social media platforms. We started doing the posts. We've helped a little bit with PR off and on in the past. With press releases, we even helped with some educational workshops for some of the
Mhm.
buskers on how to market themselves. And so talk a little bit about the marketing efforts over time, because a festival is only a festival if people show up.
That's right. And it's it is always a challenge. We're working within the um restrictions. This is not a huge budget event. This is a free community festival. So really what you fundraise is what you're able to spend, and we make a very concerted effort to spend as much as that we can on artists and supporting their income and hopes and dreams and the inspiration side of it. So our budget for marketing is we can't really approach it in a very traditional marketing strategy. So that's where Elle comes in. Like we're able to take the money that we have allotted and really do a dynamic digital and social media push to drive people towards the event without having we could spend our entire budget on a traditional marketing campaign, and this allows us to get people to the event, and it's continually grown. It's worked with us. We've partnered a bit with some print media in the past, but we've primarily driven this through our partnerships, our artists, and the network that we've created on Facebook and Instagram.
One of the things that I'm most proud of, this past, like right before this past Busker Fest, I was in getting my hair done, and my stylist was like, we were talking about what we were doing that weekend, and she's like, yeah, I've been seeing this thing like Busker Fest everywhere, all over my social media feeds. It looks so much fun. She didn't know I was involved, nothing like that. But she's like, it is everywhere. Every time I'm online, I see it everywhere. And I was like,
it's true. It's funny. I have another producer in town that I've worked with before, and he's always like, I'm so not out of frustration, but he's just like, why is it every time I open it, and why is that not? Why is my events not doing the same thing? So yeah.
So that was something that I'm really proud of. The other thing that I think has been, when you and I started doing this, and I was managing setting up the social media and managing it, we kind of had like 6 pictures of people busking in Salt Lake City.
Some not even it. Yeah, they were from the farmer's market, from like my
exactly
original OG iPhone, probably.
Yeah, like very OG. We were trying to like source some stock images. We were trying to like paint a picture of what people can expect without being able to tell them like this is some photos of the event. So one of the other things I think that you were so smart about, you brought on Austin Diamond, I think the first year, to photograph it. He's a local photographer here in Salt Lake City. And then, you've worked with us to do photos and videos over the years. We all have all kinds of street photographers that show up and tag us, and creators and things like that. So now we have this beautiful library, but maybe talk about, what those photos are able to do within the scope of, telling the story of the event.
They're highly valuable for any promotional campaign. I mean, just having, first of all, the Busker Fest and street performance and the kind of vaudeville themes that we've leaned into for many years, it's very visual. They're very beautiful artists, beyond the musicians, but there's a lot of athleticism and dance and great costumes at this event. So it's a really wonderful library that we've developed over the years. And one thing that Lydia and we talk about this a lot, like I like to think of one of the primary characters of Busker Fest being downtown Salt Lake City. So that's what's kind of cool, I think, about what we do without the formal staging, is we're in these like nooks and crannies on the street, and there's tracks there. We're nested in between Eccles Theater and McCarthy Plaza in these really cool spaces that we have in the city that sometimes go unnoticed. So that those themes show prominently through the video and photos that we've collected. And then I use them obviously for a lot of different reasons. I have a YouTube channel that hosts some of the Busker Fest videos on it, but also I use it for sponsorships. So when you're trying to when I'm trying to pitch for sponsorships, I need to show people in a very quick way what the event is and why they would want to get behind it. And photos and videos are really your most powerful tool there, I would say. Yeah. Then, of course, beyond that, everything that you guys do with the social media and storytelling, I mean, you need great photos. It's I think a primary investment you can make in your marketing campaign for events, especially, or really
Yeah.
food, all of it.
It's good visuals are so important because they do tell a story. And I think video is a really big component of that. One of the things that I love personally is every single year at Busker Fest, we bring our team as the like street team on the ground. And we are doing photos and videos and things like that kind of live to capture those moments that are really, really engaging. And so I love being able to showcase like the strength and the athleticism of some of those performers, for example. I love being able to showcase that like wonder and awe that people like. It's just this unguarded, you'll get this like childlike expression on the face of adults that are just like, how are they doing that? And it is delightful to see that and capture that. For me, it's one of my favorite things about the event. Is taking a step back and watching the people, not just the performers.
Yep. I mean, there was a moment this year that, well, because it just, apparently it rains here every day now. So.
Yeah. We now live in Portland.
But it's like, I've always thought this, and this kind of even goes back to my farmer's market. When, you know, you have like these dedicated fan base and audience, it's like, when the weather's poor, who's there, right? And so we had this moment, it was like our one little rain burst, and there was probably 40 people sitting down watching this performer, and like the performer's doing his thing, and the audience is like, there's no umbrellas or raincoats, they're just sitting there getting rained on. And I just kind of loved that, you know what I mean? It was just like, nothing's gonna stop us from having a good time. I was like, good job. But I mean, I guess just to add to that too, the live footage from the events and whatnot, I mean, it's really important, and it's very rarely done as well as you guys do it at events, because there's not a dedicated person to it that's paying attention to that. And if you think you're going to have time for that, or you think your intern's going to be able to do it, you're wrong. It's not. Events are hard. There's so many other things that you have to focus on that you're not going to get the quality product you're looking for if you think you can self-manage it. And I know this. I've been in the event industry for 15 years. I have 2 communications degrees. I know how to write. I know how to do copy. I know how to do a lot of these tasks, but that doesn't mean that I should be doing them. You know, I even find myself when I'm doing stuff, it's like, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, I've planned incorrectly if I'm doing
it's really the best use of my time.
So you need a team, and it's,
And the way you and I originally got connected clear back in the day is because I was starting a farmer's market in Sugar House. And I literally reached out to you and I was like, help, I don't know what I'm doing.
Did it help? Was I helpful?
You were very helpful, Kim. You were delightful. You sat down with me, you bought me coffee, we chatted, and it was hugely helpful. You gave me some great recommendations, and it really put us off on the right foot. But with my background in events as well, I fully acknowledge that I can't even document my own events. Like when I'm producing them as well, because you never know what's going to happen. Oh, the electricity went out. When I was
so many
things. When I was the event planner for Barnes and Noble, and we were doing a book signing for Jimmy Carter, the Secret Service guy was like, drop everything, you have to move all these fixtures.
Oh yes.
Like stuff just comes up that you have to manage and deal with. And so you can't be the person like working on the storytelling, because you are running around and making sure that the experience is fantastic for everybody that's there.
Exactly. And you shouldn't. It's important because you've gone through all the motions. You've spent the money to get the artists and bring them here, and you want to have that audience. You want to have that engaged audience.
Yeah.
Or you're doing a disservice to the event and to the people that you've brought into the fold. So it's really important to pay attention to your marketing, and there's ways to do it well without the traditional marketing budget. And that's what you guys have been so helpful with over the years.
Well, thank you. One of the other things that I love, because the event is so visual, we've established good hashtags. We've made it so that people are tagging us in their, photos and videos and stories and things like that. The other thing that we're able to do is start sharing those in the moment and capturing those from the performers, from people that are just there. One of my favorite ones this year, there was there was an aerialist, but instead of on a full aerialist rig, she was on kind of a spinning hoop just on the steps of the Eccles Theater.
Mhm.
And we had multiple people kind of capture her performance in their
Oh,
Instagram stories. And we
yeah.
were able to share that, but we knew who she was. So we were also able to tag her and pass that content along so that she could see what it looked like from her perspective. And she just also acknowledged, like, I never have photos of myself performing.
Yeah, I love that.
And so I
Yeah.
love that as well,
Mhm.
that we
Yeah,
could do that.
I think something like Busker Fest, because it's not like you're producing a show where it's like, okay, here's our stage and we're going to have a band every hour and there's 4
Yeah.
bands. There's
Right.
like 20 things happening simultaneously, hour per hour. So that means that we have, I mean, a roster of easily 100 persons who are performing or participating in Busker Fest. So utilizing that network to your advantage expands our social media reach, exponentially, because they're if they're following the the promotional rules of Lydia, then they're
Guidelines.
promoting themselves and in theory back to your event. So,
Yeah.
But we should do another workshop. I
We
forgot
really should.
about
We
that.
should do another workshop, Kim. I'm all in on that because it
Yeah.
was so much fun before, and I think it was really useful. So Kim, kudos so much on another successful Busker Fest and like literally wrangling circus folk.
Who knew? That's where I'd be.
I know it's so hard. It's
So
always
good.
it's always a delight to work with you, and I know you've got some other things coming up. So why don't you talk about those for just a moment?
Yeah, we are doing so as an offshoot of Busker Fest. We've been doing a series of acoustic music strolls right along the Jordan River Parkway, and we have one tonight. It's from 6 to 8. It is over in the Fair Park District. This is a new location for us, but we've been wanting to target different neighborhoods on the west side of Salt Lake City. And this is a great section. It's adjacent to the Northwest Recreation Center on one side and Cottonwood Park, which is a dog park on the other side. So come out and bring it. It's super low key, free. There's 10 acts that are strung along the Jordan River Parkway. And it's just a really lovely, chill event. So
amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Bring an umbrella. I don't know. Fingers crossed on what the weather will be doing.
I know. With our torrential rain the other night.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thank you so much, Kim, for joining me today. We love working with you. We sure love the Busker Fest and love being a part of that. And we just got the new photos back, so we'll be sharing those out.
Excellent. I can't wait to peruse them. So
yeah. All right.
I will. We'll talk soon. And thanks for having me on.
Take care, Kim. Bye.
Okay. Bye.